But what about me too? Am I not your child? Am I a soul? You know, you go on Instagram, you go on TikTok, you go on LinkedIn, and it seems like every other day people's lives are on fast forward and yours is on pause. You know, congratulations to me. I just got engaged, I just got a new job, a new visa, relocation, the glowing soft light. And it's like, God, do you see me too? Like, am I just here to look at everyone? I've done everything right. I've prayed, I've fasted, I've done what I'm supposed to do, but it seems like my life is not moving the way I want it to move. And even though you're happy for your friends, you can't help but compare your life to theirs. And there's that stab of jealousy that you cannot deny. In this video, we're going to talk about navigating comparison, and you'll particularly find this helpful if you're still in your 20s. I'm 28 years old, and honestly, I love it here. I'm not in a hurry. I'm truly in a good place. You know, there was a time where passing my examinations to higher education, WAEC and JAM, was like the biggest mountain of my life. But now I look back and I just laugh. And I know that in your own life, there have been moments where it feels like this is such a big mountain. But look at you on the other side. And that's to tell you that usually, oftentimes, what seems like a crisis in your life now will not even make it to the highlight reel later. I wasn't always this grounded. I wasn't always at peace with my life. I remember I used to struggle with jealousy. I just used to wonder at, you know, some of my friends' lives and even acquaintances or even complete strangers. And it's just like, why does their life feel more blessed, more put together? Why does it feel like they are God's favorite kid and I have to struggle? But here's the truth nobody tells you in your 20s. Even the people who look like they figured it out, everyone is still figuring it out. There is no one who can say, oh, I have completely figured it out in every area of my life. And I'll prove this to you. I had a conversation with my dad in July when he turned 60, and we were just having like, you know, a heart-to-heart conversation. And he was sharing with me how he had spent a major part of his life people pleasing. And we were talking about how he pivoted careers when he was in his 50s, spoke about how he started his PhD in his 50s, and I just realized there and then that this man is 60 years old and he's still learning stuff out. He's still figuring out life. Yes, he's mastered some things, but he hasn't mastered everything. And so it just made me wonder, who made us enslaved to these crazy timelines where it's like by 30, you should have figured stuff out. By 25, you should be married. By this, you should understand what it is that you're doing. It doesn't make any sense, because the last time that I checked, even your Jesus did not start public ministry until he was 30. And so who brought up this crazy timeline? Why are you beating up yourself for being in your preparation season? Relax. Take a deep breath and relax. And so let's talk about comparison and try to unpack that weird feeling that you often might feel when you're scrolling through Instagram or whatever it is, and you see someone who just maybe had a baby, or maybe just got married, or maybe just wrote a book, or maybe just relocated, whatever it is. That feeling that you feel sometimes is because you are inspired by their story. You want what it is that they have. That's something that you want for your own life. There are certain things that you would see or you've already seen that you probably just scroll past and would mean nothing to you because that's not your vibe. That's not something that you want in your life. But then the very reason why that feeling is there and you feel that stab of jealousy and you quickly tell yourself, what is happening in my own life, is because you want that thing, or at least a variant or something similar for yourself. And that's something that you want to take to God. I had to do it myself, you know, where it was like, I don't want to feel this way, this weird feeling. What can I do with it? That weird feeling, if channeled properly, can spur you into action and spur you into being introspective and asking yourself questions so that you can create the life that you want for yourself. Secondly, another thing is it might be happening because you're just confused. And what do I mean by that? When you see someone looking like they figure things out and they're doing well for themselves or whatever it is, whatever the highlight reel is, and then you look at yourself and you're like, what is happening to me? Why does it seem like my life is just on pause? I'm tired and all of these things. You might be comparing yourself to them, beating yourself up and be jealous, not recognizing that the reason you're feeling all these things is because you're confused, because you haven't taken any step in your life with regards to your purpose. And I did a video last week where I spoke about purpose and assignments. I'm going to link it up here, so make sure you go and watch it because that will help you. There's some things you're comparing yourself to that you shouldn't even be stressing yourself. Why? Because it's like comparing your own preparation season, comparing your own planting season to someone else's harvest season. Doesn't make sense. So someone else is using the profit from their investment to do certain things and live a certain lifestyle, and you are comparing yourself to them, and you feel pressured to want to use your own capital to fund that lifestyle just because someone else is doing it. It's not wise. And that's why Apostle Paul says comparing themselves with themselves, they're not wise. And when we think about the things that fuel comparison, it's from looking at other people's lives. But you need to understand that usually you're seeing the fruit, but you're not seeing the soil. You're not seeing the late nights. You're not seeing the prayers. You're not seeing the seeds that did not sprout. You're not seeing the tears that they had to endure. So always remember that whatever it is that you're looking at that is forcing you to get into this weird space, you don't have the full picture of things. And be careful not to sabotage your own progress, sabotage your own process just because you want your results to look like someone else's. And maybe you're watching this and you're thinking, Loba, you don't understand. I actually mean what I'm saying. God is being partial. It's not favoring me. It's not blessing me. It's blessing everyone around me, but nothing is happening in my life. Everything is just stagnant. Nothing is moving. I want you to think about the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. And if you remember that story, before the disciples began to feed the people, they had ordered them to sit down in a group of 50s, and they started feeding those from the front. But then with everyone who sat down, eventually it got to everyone. It got to everyone. God is not partial. God has not forgotten you. Stay consistent in the place where He would have you, and you would see how eventually it will reach your turn. To be honest, when good things start happening around you, you want to start rejoicing because that thing is true. I have seen friends who one person gets married, before you know it, another person gets married, and it's just like a baton that is being passed. Why? Because God is truly in the neighborhood. So be happy for them and continue praying and continue trusting and continue sowing your own seeds in righteousness, because truly, just like the 5,000, every one of them, even those who were at the back and who were served last, eventually they all ate. They ate till they filled and they were satisfied. And so it will be for you too. So just because your role has not been served does not mean that the portion is not coming. Don't walk away from the table. Don't move away from your group. Don't lose faith. Stay where you're supposed to be. And when it finally comes, it's always worth the wait, I promise. And let's be honest and talk about how to fix this. But before then, we must understand that this thing called comparison, there's a spiritual angle to it, but then there's also a psychological angle to it. There's never been an age where there has been overconsumption like we have now. There's an overconsumption of content. There's a barrage of content at us every single day. Even this video that you're watching now is content. And then many times you're watching someone's highlighted reel and you're comparing it to your own real life and you're judging yourself a failure. That is you being mean to yourself. That is you not being kind and you not extending grace to yourself. It's like every scroll is a new metric to measure your worth. Even things that you don't even really care about, you're using it to measure your worth. That is you not being kind to yourself. And with this overconsumption of content has come anxiety, has come restlessness, has come an unsettled soul that is always trying to catch up with something. The truth is, you're not lazy. You're just distracted with trying to live everyone else's life except from yours. And so there has to be that laser focus. And there truly is a fix. Number one fix, I would say, is to put down your devices. I cannot stress this enough. Put down your devices from time to time. Otherwise, it will turn your head in. If you must be on your device, learn the value of muting, of scrolling past, of unfollowing. These things are there for your sanity. I don't do it anymore, but I remember like a few years ago, if I feel like whatever your content is pushing out is making me feel a certain type of way, I would mute you while I try to understand what is going on with me, because I care about myself and I'm extending grace to myself. Number two, one of the major reasons why you find yourself comparing your life with someone else's is because you haven't gained mastery at anything and you haven't, become this valuable person. Gain mastery at something, be valuable, know how to do things things, learn stuff. I truly believe that your 20s especially is like, just be trying things out, be curious. If you try stuff out and you fail, people are still going to be kinder to you than when you try it when you're in your 50s or 60s and then you're going to be like at this your big age or whatever, right? And finally, make sure that you're led by God and you're not led by pressure. Understand that it's not about having everything all at once, but it's about having peace and finding like true fulfillment in your life. Here is something that has kept me grounded in my 20s, and it is that I may have the same gifts and talents as others, but then it does not mean that our paths to destiny are the same, because we are truly different and we are all created for different assignments. You must understand that times and seasons belong to God, and that this person might be in season 12 in their lives, and then you might be in season 2. Your story is still unfolding. You're still being introduced to yourself. As you continue through life, you will find that you are unraveling and you are evolving. And so comparing yourself where you're at to someone else's maybe finished product, it just doesn't make any sense. It truly, logically, it doesn't make sense. If God has planted you in a season and you don't like the season, understand that He has done it for a reason, and understand that He has put you in that season so that you can grow. So instead of asking, God, why not me? Why everybody else but me? Why don't you ask questions like, what are you trying to teach me here? These are things that I have done for myself. Sometimes I'm trying to, do something and I'm doing everything and it's not working. I pause and I'm like, why? What are you trying to teach me in this season? What are you trying to teach me in this space? The Holy Spirit is not just there for vibes. It wants you to become like God. It wants you to grow. It wants you to be mature. It wants you to be developed. And there is no growth that does not come with stretching. There is no growth that does not come with a bit of discomfort or a lot of discomfort. Get closer to the Holy Spirit and ask Him questions. It really is your cheat code for clarity, for contentment, for courage, for peace. If you're in your 20s and you're watching this, I truly want to encourage you and let you know that you're not supposed to have it all figured out. It's fine if you don't have it all figured out. Understand that God has not forgotten you. Understand that He loves you very much and He has a beautiful plan for your life. Understand that your story is still being written. I told you about my dad at 60, who is still learning things, who is still unlearning things, relearning, who is still evolving. Like, you think, at 60, you'd have figured everything out. But no, he's still unraveling even to himself. And that truly is how it is. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Like Peter, do not look at the waves and everything that is happening around you. Make sure that you keep your eyes on Jesus. Ask Him to show you where your own role is and how you can serve faithfully in that role, and then trust the process. Trust that He has a beautiful plan for your life, because it truly does. If something is happening that is great and is happening to anyone around you, rejoice with them. Be their biggest cheerleader. Pray for your friends. Rejoice with them. I do this joke because some of my best friends are married, literally almost all of them. I love it so much because I'm like, they're like John the Baptist. You have gone ahead to prepare the way for me, and so I have a lot of past questions so that when it's my turn, you have given birth to not just one child, but you have 2 children. I don't have my own children yet, but then when it's my turn, I have a lot of materials to pull from. I have a bank of knowledge. I have people who will say, oh, it's this, and that makes me so happy. Think of it like that. Rejoice with people who are rejoicing, and understand that when your own will come, it will bang. It will be amazing. If this video has blessed you, or if you've taken one thing from this video, please be sure to pass it, to share it to someone else who needs it. Let me know in the comments section what your struggles are with comparisons. Let me know if you have questions. I'll be answering them. And please don't forget to subscribe to my video to encourage me to put out videos for you guys. I love you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.